Hello everyone, Scotty Colley, West Ham Fan TV, back again with a big match preview. Back for the season by Ladbrokes. New customers sign up using promo code West Ham Fan. Receive £20 worth of free bets for your first £5 bet. Terms, conditions, details all over at ladbrokes.com. On to the football, a much more positive preview. I was very down in the dumps with the Tottenham preview, especially after that defeat against Brighton. But from being 2-0 down against Spurs at half-time to come back and win 3-2, great second half performance for the lads. You know, there's a lot of players in that team against Spurs that are going to be pushing for a start this week. So Slav's going to have a very, very tough decisions to make on this one, on who he picks to start and who he doesn't. Because there was a few performances, especially in the second half, you know, where players are in with a shout for Saturday. As I said, we travel to Selhurst Park. 3 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday. A happy hunting ground for us lately. We've won on our 3 last visits there. Palace's form at the moment. They've won 2 on the spin at home. Cup game against Huddersfield with a 2-1 victory over Chelsea. In a way, I'm glad they've got that first victory at home out of the way, because it doesn't mean that stat of when you haven't won a game, who rocks up West Ham and you beat them. You know, so I'm more confident because they've got that first win at home than I would have been if they didn't have it. I know it sounds a bit strange to say, but, you know, as I said, our record at Palace, we've lost 1 in our last 6, one against Palace, the last 3 on the spin. Last 3 on the spin on our visits to Selhurst Park. Lanzini's got 4 goals in 4 games against them. Bilic is yet to be defeated by a Palace side. You know, these are great, great stats going into this game. You know, and then you look on the flip side. Palace failed to win 9 of their last 10 league fixtures. Failed to score in 9 of their last 10 league fixtures. You know, it's one of these games, as I said, it's going to be tough. Palace is going to be very compact, they're going to be organised, and it's going to take us a lot to break them down. You know, we've got to be patient, we can't overcommit, because we still need to be disciplined at the back. So it will be tough. As I said, I can't see this being the most entertaining game. Hodgson for England, you know, it wasn't, there was no entertainment there. So I haven't seen Palace play under him, but I expect much the same. Injury-wise, we're still going to be without James Collins. Probably without Sacco. I don't think Antonio will make this one. I know Bilic has got a press conference on Friday afternoon to update everyone on the injuries. But to be fair, I think Antonio needs a rest. He hasn't looked fit. I know they said he had this rib injury that he picked up against Brighton. But to me, he's been injured, you know, since he come back against Swansea. So, you know, I think we've got enough to do it without him. I'd like to see him probably miss this one and be fit available for Liverpool the week after, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. Palace, Benteke's out for them. I think MacArthur's 50-50. Connor Wickham's also missing for them, so, you know, some key players there for them missing, especially Benteke. You know, he's their, realistically, he's their only striker. So staying into that, I do expect Palace to line up as a 4-4-2. As I said, they haven't really got an out-and-out forward. When they turned over Chelsea, they had Zaha and Townsend up front, so they're playing without a recognised centre-forward. Them 2 players, very, very quick, very tricky players. You know, Zaha's probably the best player Palace have got at the moment. So we've got to be wary of their pace and their trickery. You know, sometimes this season we have struggled with pace, so we need to make sure we're on form on that one. Obviously, pulling the strings in the midfield is Kabay, but for me, the weakest part of Palace's team is at the back. You know, we need to put a lot of pressure up there. Something that we don't do often enough. You know, we don't press the defence when they've got the ball. We need to make sure we do that against Palace, because I think if we can get an early goal in this one, you know, I think their heads will drop and the crowd will get on their back. You know, so yeah, we need to be on the races. So leading into our starting 11, there's a lot of calls for Adrian to continue in goal. Didn't do much wrong, pulled off a couple of good saves against Spurs in midweek. Joe Hart has took a lot of criticism lately, and in my personal opinion, it's unfair. You know, the result against Brighton, there was nothing he could do about them goals. The save he made before the second goal went in was a superb save. So I very much see him continuing in goal for this one, like coming back in and Adrian dropping down to the bench, even though Adrian, as I said, is in a great shout to start. The next key for Bilic is what he does with the formation. You know, the formation we had against Spurs, first half it didn't work, second half it did. It was sort of like a 5-4-1 with a diamond midfield defensively, but then attacking it was more like a 3-5-2 because Ayew was pushing forward a lot. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what he goes with. For me, I think Zabaleta has to come back in for Byram. You know, Byram didn't have the best of games against Tottenham, and Zab has been, you know, our top player this season, consistently putting a shift in, you know, showing his professionalism and class all over the pitch when he plays. So I think he's got to come back in. In the defence, obviously Winston Reid will come back into the side. Ogbonna and Rice have got to both be in a shout. You know, they didn't defend too badly. You know, right, Rice deflected the Tottenham second goal in, but he had to go for it with his head. But other than that, I thought they defended all right. You know, and also you've got Cech slotting in at back, so it's going to be really, really tough decisions there, because Fonte's been doing all right as well when he's been playing. So, you know, it's a good headache to have. But personally for me, I think I'd go with Zab on the right. I'd keep the 5 at the back. I'd have Cech staying in there, because he looks much better as a centre-half than he does as a centre midfielder. I'd have Reid come into the middle, and I'd continue playing Ogbonna, because then we've got 2 players there in Cech and Ogbonna who can bring the ball out from the back. We haven't got to keep going long. As much as I like Font, he does look to go long a lot more. I know he's been on a few runs and brought the ball forward, but he does seem to sort of gunt it a bit long far too many times. So I'd like to see Ogbonna and Cech continue as the 3 centre-halves. Out on the left, Creswell, again, didn't really have a good game against Spurs. Masuaku didn't do much against Brighton. You know, it's either of them 2 to start, but I think he'll continue with Creswell in that one. Mark Noble has got to play in this game. He was absolutely superb against Spurs. Led as a leader should in that game. You know, and he's got to continue in that role. He didn't do nothing wrong against Tottenham. Palace is a smaller pitch. It's a game that will suit his style of play. So he has got to start in that midfield. Along with Ayew for me. You know, Ayew man of the match performance against Tottenham. It's the best game I've seen him ever in the West Ham shirt. It's the most running I've seen him do. So my midfield will be Mark Noble, Andre Ayew and Manu Lanzini, with Hernandez and Carroll up top. I think the 2 up top, you know, has got to be played for this one. You know, let's get that little and large combination. We showed with Ayew against Spurs, he's in and around that box. Same as Hernandez. So when we've got corners, when we've got balls coming into the box, we know Ayew's going to get in them positions, and we know Hernandez is going to get in the positions. Carroll, he didn't have the best game against Spurs, but if he wasn't on the pitch, you know, he was involved in the second goal, the result don't happen. You know, he's got to come good. His work rate is always there. Well, I say always there. He did have a poor first half against Spurs. But, you know, the work rate, he causes defences problems, especially when you've got a shaky defence like Palace have. You've got to have it up there, and that's why I go for the 4-4-2. Looking at the prediction for this one, very, very tough. I think it's going to be a tight game. I do think we're going to win it. I think Lanzini's going to score, and I reckon it's going to be 1-0. So fancy a little cheeky little bet on that one. 11-1 for Lanzini to score first and West Ham to win. You know, worth a couple of quid on that one, isn't it? Don't forget to check out all our other videos. Me and Ryan will be down at Palace. We're outside after the game, so come check us out for a fan cam. You know, we like to see some new faces on. You know, a lot of people crying out for that. We interview anyone that shows up. So come along, get your face on camera. Tell us how you feel about the team, how you feel about the result, where West Ham's going wrong or going right. You know, just come and give us your opinion. As I said, loads of other videos up. Post-match pint will be filmed on Saturday. Fan cam straight after the game. Dan's show will be up. Ryan's top 5 away wins at Crystal Palace is also up at the moment. I'll be back next week with another preview. One thing left to say, come on you irons.